Grant, do you want to kick us off with the wife guys of Reddit?
Yeah, absolutely. So Snez just quite rightly said there, he gave me post-punk experiment number 3, open bracket, a bigger splash, close the bracket, by the wife guys of Reddit. This was released almost a year ago on the 7th of April 2023. It's just over 2 minutes long. The band themselves are a Glasgow-based quartet consisting of Aaron, Neve, Elise and Angus, and are self-described purveyors of soupy rock. A wife guy, for those of you who are unaware, which I was myself, according to Wikipedia, is a man whose fame is solely owed to the content he posts about his wife. Famous wife guys include your favourite, Sneds, Adam Levine, and stand-up comic John Mulaney. And according to an article that I read on the New York Post, is a serious red flag, or was a serious red flag way back in 2022. I doubt very much whether it's got anything to do with the band, but there you go. The song itself opens with a kind of pulsating guitar riff, which is quickly followed and gets layered up with a kind of pretty standard drum beat. Then there's this kind of discordant and jagged stabs of kind of lead guitar. The vocals kick in around the kind of 20-second mark with the lyrics, "I dropped that turd in the middle of the bowl." Then there's this kind of interesting kind of call and answer like section between the vocalist and the lead guitar, whereby the guitar almost mimics the melody of the vocals. The vocals are delivered in quite an interesting way, which I quite enjoyed. For my money, it almost felt kind of reminiscent of something you might see on a kind of Primus track. My Name is Mud kind of springs to mind. The song gets kind of progressively more chaotic, fuzzed up, and there's a lot of kind of reverb in there. Feels as if it kind of reaches a peak about the kind of 1 minute 20-second mark. And there's a pretty cool punchy guitar riff around here at this time as well. But fortunately, it's pretty short-lived. In terms of my kind of overall rating of the song, like, I felt as if it was alright. It's an alright song. They've got quite a varied back catalogue though, and I wouldn't say this is like a complete departure from the type of thing that they've done in the past. Their EPs Wet and Tired from 2021 and The Wife Guys Walk into Oncoming Traffic from 2022. There's kind of similar vibes in there. They're definitely kind of an alt-rock band, but I kind of get the impression that they kind of play around with a lot of kind of different musical styles. Listening to them, some of their lyrics, or the way they deliver their lyrics, reminded me a bit of a kind of less electro kind of chairlift. A few of the songs, the lyrics are quite muted. Let Me Play a Serious One felt like it could have been an Air song, for example, so kind of keeping with that kind of electro kind of pop vibe. But there's also kind of elements of kind of Decemberists in there, kind of country, kind of First Aid Kit type sounding songs. There's elements of kind of bossa nova type music in there, which, is really quite cool. Their first single, or one of the first singles that I kind of stumbled across, is called O Come Emmanuel. That was released in 2020. It has a proper Appalachian churchy feel to it, which I really liked, and that's a huge departure from post-punk experiment number 3. So I wasn't completely enamoured with this song, but I think they're definitely one to kind of watch out for, and it'd be interesting to see what they kind of come out with next.
Yeah. What rating would you give it for this song?
I gave it a 5.
Fair enough. I mean, I gave you this song because, well, I thought it was funny in a sort of puerile kind of dumb sort of way, but I quite liked it as a sort of quirky punk song as well, and there's a sort of bizarre vocal delivery and wild musicianship that I thought was quite good. It's not like, in terms of like a sort of funny song that's also, like a catchy banger, it's not quite as good as like something like Bloodhound Gang's A Bad Touch, but that's kind of, I think, why I was drawn to it. It's just kind of a stupid song that's quite fun and catchy. Sounds a bit like Idols. There's a bit of weird stuff, maybe sort of Black Midi-ish kind of weirdness. A bit of that sort of jagged indie punk of the mid-noughties, like maybe the Rakes or the Rapture or something like that. And then, yeah, and it's not that long either, so it's, if you don't like it, it's over fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then it's got like a video where, it's quite a cool video where the band just look really cool. Like, to begin with, at least, they just look really cool, just sort of bashing away at their instruments, and then they start like bathing in shit and like eating shit and like drinking shit water. So it's a pretty rank video, but it fits the song. But so if that sounds like your cup of tea, then go and watch that video. But
the video totally passed me by. I never actually thought to have a look at the video.
Yeah, it's just the way they look. They look like it's just a really cool band right at the start, and then they start just kind of wallowing around in shit. But yeah, I think it's like you say, they've got just like all their other stuff just sounds very different. They seem to be quite an experimental band, so definitely one, like you say, to keep an eye on, and just thought they were worth talking about. You mentioned the EP from 2022, The Wife Guys Walk Into Oncoming Traffic, which is a pretty good EP, and there's a couple of good tracks, Pig Fat and Bacon Grease, which came out simultaneously after that EP, I think. So yeah, it's a decent song. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 because I quite like it. I think it's dumb, but it's good. So there you go.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that was post-punk experiment number 3, A Bigger Splash, by the Wife Guys of Reddit.
I dropped that dud in the middle